So I thought I'd start off with this is what it looks like at home right now. So about 6 inches of snow in and around Sevierville. This is actually taken from my boss's porch out over Sevierville, and it's been snowing and it's continuing to snow. So considering the way we deal with that down there, I hope I can make it home tomorrow. But but let's go to the next one. So let's talk about Dollywood in 2017. We're go ahead. We're adding a couple of new attractions to Dollywood, and Dropline is the first of those. For those of you that have never been to the park, perhaps one of our most interesting attractions ever put in was an attraction called Timber Tower, which was a Goose Topple Tower, and it was an interesting attraction for us. And it sat on a pond right next to Thunderhead. And for several years, we've been looking for something to put in that place. And this year, it's Dropline, which is a rather large, more than 200-foot tall drop tower that will go into that area. So let's have you take a look at this and you get an idea. This is a ride that is manufactured by a company called Funtime. It's an Austrian company that has the largest. They built the largest mobile drop tower in the in the world. That's a little over 300 feet tall. Their mobile drop tower is, and it travels the festive circuit in Europe. But this is a fixed base. For us, that will go exactly where Timber Tower was, next to Thunderhead. It's 230 feet tall. We wanted something that would have excellent capacity because we wanted to put a drop tower in for several years, but we really needed the additional capacity. This will do, theoretically, 700 people an hour. I would say that's probably going to be closer to 500, but that is significantly more than some of the other towers that are available, that are out there. It's a partnership with Funtime and Gerslauer, and the restraint and the seat systems are all made by Gerslauer. Next. Here's some, it's being manufactured right now in Austria. It will start the long trip over in containers. Go ahead and take the next one. What you can see down on the bottom right for those of you facing the screen, that it's starting to be packed up, but the ride will open right around Memorial Day. so it'll be a little later in the season. Since we do open on St. Patrick's Day this year for Festival of Nations, the drop line will open right around Memorial Day. So drop line, what does that mean? Well, the entire area that Thunderhead is in, Lumberjack Pizza, where drop line is called Timber Canyon. And that drop line is a logging term. And we also have a new junior coaster, go ahead, next one, called Whistle Punk Chaser. And a whistle punk is also a logging term. The whistle punk is the person that blew the steam whistles on the they signaled to the loggers to bring trees up from down the ridge or to fly the trees across. They were really the ones that choreographed what was going on the logging sites. And this is a Zamperla family gravity coaster. It's a one-train operation. Theoretically, again, 360 people per hour, or 360 little ones per hour. And the cool thing is, next one, you get an idea of where this is all going. So ignore the Area 4 because it doesn't make any sense to you because you haven't seen the whole prints. But the area here is where Timber Tower was, the pond, it will remain, and drop line will go there. And then in the area where there was the kids' playground that was very underutilized in the turnaround for Thunderhead, that is where Whistle Punk Chaser will go. So now families will have the opportunity to have older brothers and sisters and mom and dad, and in a lot of cases grandparents, ride Thunderhead, and if they can stand it to get on drop line to ride it, the littler kids will have an opportunity to also have a coaster of their own up in that area. Because for those of you that have not been to Dollywood, just adjacent right here is Mystery Mine, which is a Gerstlauer coaster that is right there as well. Next slide. So just a little tighter look at what the track layout is for Whistle Punk Chaser. Little helix in the middle, pretty standard family gravity coaster from Zamperla. And again, it'll open right around Memorial Day, a little after Memorial Day, to complete that area. They are doing some neat theming opportunities. Next. So a lot of these donkey engines, so they're big steam engines that were operated in the logging and farming industry at the turn of the century, and really the entire area from the group's entrance all the way up to Thunderhead and in that valley, we're retheming a lot of areas along that Timber Canyon walkway. But a lot of interactive things. The sign that is to your lower left is for Whistle Punk Chaser, and it'll be interactive. It'll have a whistle, it'll have a steam whistle that's on it, and then the donkey engine that's to the right it'll be an interactive that plays different tones of different whistles. Go. I just pulled this one out there because one of the things I really liked at the Hard Rock Park was this thing that they had that was in front of Nice and White Satin that had a guitar in stone. And this is just a photo op, but it's an axe in the stump. But I just thought it was a really cool thing and a neat and just kind of a little out of the box, but right in the storyline of the area. And I thought it was a cool opportunity for families, especially kids, to be able to do that and try to remove it. It won't come out, of course, but it is. But it's kind of a neat thing. At Splash Country, we are adding a brand new mat slide racer called Tailspin Racer that will open when the park opens in May. It is a whitewater product. Pretty basic design, to be honest, but great location in the park. It will be just to the left of the turnstiles on the upper part of the hill. For those of you that have been to the park or have never been to the park, in the original configuration of Splash Country, it's really a discovery experience because you go through the turnstiles and you have to walk around, and then the original part of the park is in a holler. It's in a bowl with ridge lines all the way around you. And this is really the first attraction that we've put on the road side of that ridge top. And so this will overlook the rest of the park. Again, high capacity attraction, will be a great addition to that park. We have another mat racer that's called Slick Rock that's all the way up in the back end of the park, but this will be a great configuration with the dark water tubes that dump out into that racing, into the racing channels. Next. So one of the things Dollywood's known for is all the festivals that we do. And we are adding a couple of events this year as well as the festivals that we've traditionally had. Festival of Nations opens the season again on March 17th. Mother Africa is the headliner again this year. They will be bringing another new show to us. So they've headlined the festival for us 3 times over the last 5 years. They are the highest rated guest scores of anything we've ever had for that particular festival. And each time they've come, they've brought a completely new show. So we're really excited about that. We have a new show from Poland, one from Switzerland, and some of the other favorites that have been here. To the lower right is the BWI Invaders, which is a steel drum band from Trinidad that have been a crowd favorite for us. So it should be a great festival for us. Next. One of those new events we're doing is we're calling Dollywood's Family Spring Break. So April 10th through the 22nd, we're going to extend park hours during that time period when families are on spring break. And we're bringing in this show called Enra, which some of you, if you watch America's Got Talent, might have seen this group before. It is pretty amazing. They choreograph everything they do to light. So they interact with the screen that is behind them, and they dance, and the music changes based on what it is that they're doing. Are you connected to the internet here?
Yeah.
Click the Enra logo in the center. And we'll see if my hyperlink will work for you. And it should be a great event for us. Spring break has really become a huge business in the Smokies, and it's an opportunity for us to really punctuate something just for families, and obviously that's a show that's targeted at families. Next. Dollywood Summer, fireworks are back every night. Has been very popular for us to extend hours until 10 o'clock. We actually are going to have a couple of select dates this year that we're going to test where we'll be open until midnight, which is a real stretch for us, for those of you that have been coming to Dollywood. When I started in 2000, the park closed at 7 o'clock every night in the summertime because we thought everybody was and they're going to go ride go-karts or do whatever, and which they did, but we've been able to capture that business. The headliner for summer is a Gazillion Bubbles, and it's been a huge favorite of our guests. And we did a couple of different things last year, and they really demanded we bring it back. It's a show that continues to run off Broadway in New York, and they produce a show for us. The developer of the show is a guy named Fan Yang, and his kids now do the show. And it's really, really amazing what they do with bubbles and lasers and light. And how they interact with kids is really amazing. Next. Probably the most exciting thing to talk to you about from an events and entertainment standpoint is this. So we've done a Southern Gospel event in the fall for longer than Dollywood has been Dollywood. We've done a crafts festival since the park was Silver Dollar City. So that would be more than 30 years ago. We're going to continue to do that and continue to have a very strong daytime product, but we're adding a family evening festival called Pumpkin LumiNights. So in the same way in 1990 that we started Smoky Mountain Christmas primarily with the lighted displays, we're going to start a fall evening family festival that is targeted to lighting displays like you see there. These are all examples. Some of you may have been to a festival in, say, the Hudson Valley area of New York, or there's a festival that goes on in Louisville that they do lighted pumpkin displays. The ones in Hudson Valley do things that are also choreographed to music. We'll be doing a lot of those same things. The park will be open for the first time during the fall. Instead of having 1 or 2 days, the park is closed during the week. We will be open 7 days a week, and we're going to be open 10 to 9 every day. So it will really be an extended business for us, and really, really amazing designs. Obviously, the one you see up on the upper left is, the Loch Ness Monster, and then you see a lot of walkthroughs and the bell tower, or the clock that's down, grandfather clock that's down on the lower right. We're not going to go scary because that's not really the business we're in, but we are going to go fun and fall and family and spooky. But we'll be looking at folklore versus horror. But it should be a great festival for us. Next. So, lightning rod. This is my last slide, so we'll open it up to questions after this. But it's been a real labor of love for us through the year. But how many of you have had a chance to ride it? Good, excellent, excellent. Right, exactly. Well, and believe me, for me even, there was a lot there that I was having trouble getting on. But I'm biased, but I've been on a lot of coasters, and I think it's an amazing ride. And we've been working on the ride, and we've been doing some things throughout the entire year to make it operate more consistently. I think we really hit a groove, and the ride was operating really, really well for us. We did some track work based on some feedback that we received actually from some of y'all, and just in some observations that we made. I think probably some of the little track bump at the bottom would have manifested itself much earlier in the season had we been running consistently at the beginning of the season. But it was a little later on in the summer. We took the bump out, and we've done a little additional track work to move some things. Really, to be quite honest, one of the things that was the most frustrating for us was just consistency of systems operation. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that these were latest generation trains, and we're going to be working with RMC to rewire the trains and rework through some things in the off season, and we believe that that will take care of a lot of the systems issues that we had during this season. RMC is also reworking the back of the trains. For those of you who saw the unveil of the trains, originally, you know, there was a trunk. So you got the hood and the engine on the front, and then there was a trunk. And that didn't run, they took that off early in the season, and as they continue to work on the train continuously. And so the trunk's going back on the back of the train, so it'll again look like a full hot rod. And it's been a lot of work, but I think it's paid off, and I think it's a tremendous attraction. It definitely is. It's something different, and if you've never been on it, it really gets your attention. And I will tell you that with all of the nighttime operation that we're going to have this year, with spring break running in later into the evening, and with fall being operated until 9 o'clock at night, and then of course our Smoky Mountain Christmas operation right at night, because it is the most amazing ride at night. Because once you crest the top of that hill after the launch, there's nothing. You don't see anything. I mean, you drop, it's like you're dropping into a sack, and it just goes. But I think really is a great ride, and I'll leave it at that and open up to questions.
Hey, for the pumpkins, are those going to be all real pumpkins, or is that?
It'll be a combination of pumpkins and you know, and whatever they call the fake pumpkins. You know, the ones that look just like pumpkins, and even when you carve them, they've got the look on the inside of them. But because we're going to be open for 40 days, roughly, or 35 days, that'll get pretty funky.
The show Enra. Is that going to be from day one, or is it going to be?
It'll run just during that festival, so from April the 10th through the 22nd, and they'll run probably 4 or 5 shows a day. You know, and it'll be on the Cubot and the different things that we do there for like all the rest of the shows. Right there.
Can you guarantee is it going to be very likely that Lightning Round will be open for opening day in March?
That's the plan. I don't promise anymore. Go ahead.
Are there any challenges with this little pump coaster, an adults ride that without any restriction, like they don't need kids?
42 inches without, I mean for you guys to ride? Yeah, we'll let you get the coaster. But it's 42 inches unaccompanied. And then shorter than that, it's walking age with somebody that's tall enough. I will just tell you that if you've never been on one, since I've gotten a couple of credits on this type of coaster, they're pretty tight for adults. So, but it's a great ride. Go ahead. Good question. I don't know. Where are we going to put Carol of the Trees? Because Carol of the Trees was on the pond in right outside of Market Square, and then we moved it up to the platform where Timber Tower was, now where Dropline's going, and since Dropline's going to be there, it needs a new home. So I can tell you we're looking at a lot of different lighting designs for Christmas. We really spread a lot of lighting out this year to encompass more of the park. We had a lot of signature items like we always do with wrap trees and in full-size trees that were lit from bottom to top. But we're looking at some new things to provide a little more impact during the holidays as well. There and then there. Go ahead.
How's the structure to keep the way the bees
work? Great. Yeah, that's a great question. So the thing that's on top up here, for those of you that are not aware, this is a bee house, okay? And one of the issues it's like the fireflies that we get in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. There's a type of paper wasp that lives in the Smokies that swarms in the fall at high objects. So it started originally with Thunderhead. When we built Thunderhead in '04, we had never had the issue before. And so they are, you know, kind of mean little buggers. And so we had tried everything on Thunderhead, and then on Wild Eagle, we tried different things, misters, some different things. And we knew that when we were building this, that lightning rod would definitely be the tallest thing in that area of the park. So we knew that they would swarm it. So we worked with the University of Tennessee entomology department, and they came up with this idea to put this tin roof on top of the lift so that the tin would really retain the heat, which is what the bees are looking for, and they, or the wasps actually, are looking for, and it really worked well. And so we're looking at a couple of options that we may put some kind of a structure at the top of Wild Eagle at some point, but Walter and his guys have got to engineer it because, you know, it'll change the structure of the ride, and so they'll have to work on it. But it's worked really, really well. And believe me, if you've never been around during that time of year in the fall, we do have to close Wild Eagle on a fairly routine basis, and Thunderhead to some degree, because of the wasp, because we're not going to have people get stung. Because they really are mean little suckers, and they do sting you. So, Yvonne?
Yeah, I just want to say, of course, you know I live in Texas, but I bought a season pass for Dollywood because of lightning rod. I love lightning rod. It's awesome.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to congratulate you on the gold ticket because it is awesome. And I think you answered my question. You said you're not going to put any lights back there for the night?
Right now, no. It looks like, I mean, we're doing a ton of off-season work, so I don't know. I was telling some people last night that I think in my soon-to-be 17 years, this is the most off-season work we've ever done on repair and replacement work on the park. Backstage restaurants getting gutted and redone, Lumberjack Pizza's getting redone. We're building a HR building because we had a flood in June to exacerbate all of the other issues we had with lightning rod, and it flooded out our HR building, so we're building a new one, and it's going to be up behind where lightning rod is, and I don't think they're going to be putting any light back there, but I can tell you that right now it is completely dark, as you know. Yes.
And my follow-up question is, how close were the fires to Dollywood, and did you have your own fire department down there?
Well, thank you for asking about the fires. It was, I'll just say it was a challenging last 2 months of the year. And compounding an already challenging year. But the picture everybody saw of the fires behind Dreamworld Resort looked like it was really, really close. It was probably 3/4 of a mile from the park at that point on that side. But the fire itself on the southeast side of the park, so around where the Craftsman's Valley Ridge is and back into the village where the train depot is, fire got down within 100 feet of the train depot. And so we have an emergency plan, and our director of maintenance had a night washdown crew that was coming in to work overnight, and he had them roll all of the hoses out and leave them rolled out all over the park. And then we had a crew of about 25 people that worked on park